Hey there, SCT fans. It's Megan Andrew, and I'm really excited to be here with you today to share this cute little Galentine's treat bag. First, I want to show you that I created a template for you. You can download this on the SCT blog at the link in the video notes so that you can follow along with the dimensions that I am scoring here today. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm scoring at a inch and a half down from the top of my 6 by 12 inch piece of paper and an inch from the bottom. This is going to create a flap on the top that's about 1.5 inches wide. Then I'm going to score at 4 1/4, 5 3/4, 10 inches, and 11 1/2. You can see on the guide that I'm sharing with you, the PDF, that I cut the corner and then I cut little notches at the bottom and the right side at every score line. And this is because we are going to create flaps that we will add adhesive to hold our box together. Now that top 1.5 inches will be folded down towards you. So that will be on the outside of the box. And it just creates kind of like that paper bag look, especially when you use it with craft. It is so cute. And it also hides the flap that you're adhering at the top so that you won't see any seams on the side. It's quite nice actually. Once that top flap is folded down, everything else will be folded inward toward the inside of the bag so that all of those tabs we can adhere with some really strong adhesive. And I have just the thing from my friends at Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. This crafty power tape is really good. It is not as difficult to get off the backing as like a red tape would be. And so I do like to use it for this type of project that's, it makes it a lot faster and easier for me. I always do use a spatula there to take the backing off instead of fighting with my nails to do it. So I'm going to fold that long side and adhere that one first. And then I'm going to tuck that tiny little flap under my top fold, and that's it for the top and the side. The last thing that you have to do is adhere the bottom. So I'm going to adhere the two side flaps, add adhesive to those first. You want to make sure you get adhesive on all of the flaps so that you have multiple points that are being adhered. Then I'm going to put a long piece on that long flap to make sure that those stay in place too. And just pushing it down on your desktop will ensure that you get it nice and straight because your box can be a little bit wonky if you don't push it down on your desktop to make sure that it's nice and straight once you adhere it. Okay, you can do whatever you want to the outside of your bag. You can just put some embellishment on it. You can do a little stamped sentiment, but I decided that I wanted to add a lot of color and some fun to my bag with these fringe metal dies from the stamp market and some color crush hues from the stamp market as well. Today I decided to use the colors blush pink, peach, citrine, and tropic teal. I cut 4 1/4 inch strips of each of these papers, and then I'm going to cut 4 strips of fringe, the scalloped fringe. But what I'm doing is that with each strip, I am alternating where I start the die on the paper so that they are offset when I place them on my bag. Because if you put them so that all of the scallops line up, you'll have a different look than if you did one scallop one way and the other offset by a couple of, like a half of a scallop. So you have to think about that when you are cutting your scallops. So do half of them where you start the whole scallop on the edge of the paper, and then do the other half where you put the paper at the half scallop so that you can have that alternating on your bag. Once you have all 16 scallops, it's time to start, but I am adhering a piece of like a half of an inch of the tropic teal color at the bottom of the bag, just so that I can cover up underneath of where the scallops will end. So that's how I started off the bag. I realized that it's about a 16th of an inch over the width of my bag. So for each one, I'm just trimming it off by about a 16th of an inch, and I'd rather have it be longer than too short. I'm using some American Crafts Sticky Thumb Liquid Adhesive. I started out with a tape adhesive and I realized it was going to be much faster with a liquid adhesive, and Sticky Thumb is really nice because it adheres really quickly. So you definitely want to use a liquid glue that is very quick to adhere, or else you'll be waiting forever before you have to place the next fringe piece on. But do you see here how great the scallops look when they are offset? So you have a full scallop at the edge, then you have a half scallop at the edge, a full scallop and a half scallop, and so on and so forth up the height of the bag. I actually realized that I didn't have enough scallops to go all the way to the top of my bag, but I'm really glad that this happy accident happened because I really like the look of about a quarter to a half of an inch of craft color at the top of those bright colors. Next, I'm die cutting vellum hearts using the LE Studio My Heart metal die, and I really love the way that vellum looks on top of these bright and pretty colors, and it adds that softness on top of all of that texture of my fringe scallops. I'm going to machine stitch these together before adhering them on the front. I just had to use the gorgeous greetings stamp and matching die from the stamp market. I love this set. It is so usable and pretty because it has those little scrolly bits on it. So I stamped all the feels and for you, all the feels in peach and for you in tropic teal. And then I die cut those out to add to the front. After this, all I had to do was adhere my sentiment to the front of my vellum heart, and then I added a couple of the Color Crush enamel dots in matching colors to my scallops. I just love how these turned out. I know that my two besties will appreciate them so much. And I hope you have been inspired to create something special and easy like this for your Galentines this year. Don't forget to check out the blog post where you can download your free printable, as well as find out all of the supplies that I use to create these bags in the link in our video notes on the SCT blog. Thanks so much for watching, and happy creating, friends.